Hello, this is Brother Johnny Williams with another edition of In the Word. Tonight is Life Lessons and Testimony Night. Now, tonight I'm going to talk on a subject that has been on my mind for a good while. There are too many of our young men and women getting killed, getting maimed, and getting scarred for life unnecessarily. Now, before I begin, because I'm going to talk about one particular profession, and I want to say this again before I begin. In any job, there are good and there are bad. There are people that go to work every day and try to do the best that they can. There are people that go to work every day and actually care about their brothers and sisters, their co-workers, anyone that has anything to do with them. They really care. But there are those that don't care one way or the other. They don't. Those are the people that I really want to hit on tonight. Now, I'm going to hit on this subject, law enforcement. I used to be a police officer. Please believe me when I tell you, there are some of the finest men and women that you would ever want to meet that put on a uniform and a badge every day. They go out there and they put their lives on the line to protect you and me every day. Good people. I've had the honor and the privilege of knowing and associating with a great deal of them. But again, there are some that really have no business with any kind of authority. So I'm going to get right to the point. Yeah. I'm going to use this term, the powers that be. Now, I want you to clearly understand what I'm about to tell you, because I'm going to talk policy and procedure to you so that you can fully understand where I'm coming from. Take this scenario. Let's say your son or your daughter is out walking home. A police pulls up to them. Hey, I need you two to come here. And the first thing out of your child's mouth is, what are you calling me for? I've done nothing wrong. Let's stop right there. There may have been a robbery, a murder, stabbing, raping, anything that just occurred around the corner, 2 or 3 blocks away, whatever. And in distress, the person that may have given these officers a description may match what your child is wearing. The age may be right. And they have cause to stop them. Let me stop right there. Let me interject a word to you. Probable cause. If that officer has probable cause, back up. He's probably gotten a call from his dispatch telling him, hey, this just happened, blah, 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 blah. Be on the lookout for so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so with a description like this. It may be saying black male or white male or Hispanic male wearing so-and-so, so-and-so, got these kind of clothes on or whatever. Okay? But your child doesn't know this. You don't know this. Okay? Let's get back to when that officer tells that individual, stop, I need to talk to you. Oh, no, you need to talk to me. Okay, what you've done, you've just escalated that situation. So then the situation gets a little bit more intense. I thought I told you to come here. You don't have any reason to tell me to come here. The next thing you know, either they've gotten hands on you. If you resist, please listen to this. A police officer does not have to deceased or desist in his efforts to detain you. Break that down. As much force as you put out resisting, that is the amount of force that he or she can apply. Doesn't matter whether you like it or not. That is their procedure. Okay? Let's just say it escalates to that. They get you on the ground. You're fighting. Again, remember, as much force as you put out, that's as much they can apply. And you get your arm broken. Or you get your lip busted. Or you get some of your teeth knocked out. And they finally get you subdued. Okay? They've done what they're supposed to do. They take control of the situation first and then sort things out. They're in charge. You may think you are. You may think you have rights. You may think you have an opinion. At that point in time, you do not. Now, I'll get to explain that a little bit more as we get a little bit further on in here. I'm not going to leave anything out. Okay, that same situation. They get you subdued. You're probably sitting on the sidewalk. You may be sitting in some grass, mud, water, whatever. It doesn't make any difference to them as long as they get you detained. Okay? And over the radio, they call in, well, I've got this description, so-and-so birthday, blah, 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 blah. And they come back, well, that's not the individual. Then they unhandcuff you and tell you to go on your merry way. You're insulted. Your feelings are because you think they did you wrong. When all along, it's your fault. You had no respect for authority. So let's look at that. Why did you not have any respect for authority? Now here's a good one. Here's something you're not going to like. A lot of people don't want to take responsibility for this. It's because we are not training our children. You see, we go to work every day. Again, we give them everything that they desire. Daddy, I want a new pair of shoes. Mom, I want another television. Daddy, I want another phone. Daddy, I need a new car. And we just give them these things. But we don't educate them as to how you come by these things. We don't educate them that there are sacrifices and there are certain mannerisms that you must have in order to attain these things. They think that they're entitled to everything. Again, it's us doing it. Okay, don't shake your head. It's true. Okay, and the next thing, we let them say what they want to say. We let them do what they want to do. We let them come when they get ready. We let them leave when they get ready. Again, big mistake. And again, don't shake your head. You do it all the time. And all you're doing is setting the child up for failure. Because see, if you allow him to do that, he's going to think he can do that out there in that very unfair, cruel world. Remember, I told you, there are people, we're talking specifically about law enforcement. There are good ones, there are bad ones. Now, what if he runs into one of those that the only thing that this person want to do is put on a uniform and a badge and run over here in this neighborhood to see if he can subdue this kind of person? See, because he never been around these kind of people. He's probably went to private schools all his life, probably been privileged, had money, didn't hang around you, don't know anything about you. But the first thing, remember that word, the powers that be? The first thing this person want to do is slap on a uniform, badge, and a gun and come directly to your neighborhood. Again, he knows nothing about you. He's never been around you. The only thing he's going off of what he's heard. Oh, they're loud. They're dangerous. This is in the back of these people's head. Without them even knowing you. So you got strikes against you already. Now, let me ask you something as a parent. If you truly are a parent, do you want your child to run into someone like that? Will you acknowledge that there are people out there like that? There are people that are so gullible that they'll tell you, oh, well, the world shouldn't be like that. But you live in this world. I had a person once tell me, well, my sons and daughters, or no, let me back up. I was taught that you go to school and you respect the teacher or you go home. Really? And I had to ask that person, do you know where you are? Do you know what situation that you're in? Do you know what environment that you're in? Do you think that your child is going to get a fair shake dealing with a person like that? See, here's what they think. When they first see you, they think you're a heathen or an idiot or you're rowdy or because you talk a little louder, they're scared, they're afraid of you. They're not going to give you a fair shake. They wouldn't care whether you make it, succeed or not. Do you want your child running into this type of individual? Not only running into this type of individual, but not recognizing the type of individual that they're dealing with. Remember, I did something about unseen dangers not too long ago. Okay? Just look at this kind of as a follow-up to that. You know, and you're not teaching your child this. Oh, you'll talk about it. You talk about it to somebody else, but your most precious asset, you're spoiling. You're not giving them a fair chance. And I'm going to say it's your fault. When one of those kids get killed because they running their mouth to the police, it's your fault. Now, you may think that you can say and do whatever somebody else does when it comes to dealing with the police. Sure. There's always been differences in different races, all different, not just black, not just white. I'm talking about anybody. Again, anybody that feels this thing of oppression. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to isolate it. There's more than just us black people that's getting oppressed by bad police officers, bad managers, bad lawyers, bad judges. Okay? Because we, the people that live long enough, have been through these things. We're not teaching our younger people this. But I don't want to get too far off subject here. I want to get right back to it because I'm tired of these people getting killed needlessly. Let me give you another scenario. Let's just say your child gets killed. Okay. Let me tell you the procedure. The powers that be are going to protect themselves. Whether they're right or whether they're wrong. There's a procedure that they're going to follow. First, they're probably going to suspend those two cops, or one cop, whoever did it. They have rights also. They can't just up and fire them because what? Automatically, that's going to say that they were wrong. And if they were wrong, the people that they work for were wrong. So they're going to make sure that they do this the right way. You see them, they'll tape off the scene. They'll keep all cameras away. You can't go there. You may have to stand back a block or so and watch your child laying there on the ground, in the street, whatever, dead. And there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is probably get shot or killed yourself trying to enter or get arrested. But picture this, that's your child laying there. And these people are going to follow procedure because they're going to make sure that they did everything right, whether it's right or wrong. Okay? Well, then you go get you a lawyer. You may even go get go to the news station or whatever. But we still come right back to the fact, your child is dead. You've got to plan a funeral. And then what happens? Again, this officer or whoever did it, they're probably on paid leave or sitting at a desk, still getting paid. but your child is dead. And the entity or the powers that be that these people work for, they're going to issue a statement. Something like this. We deeply regret what happened the other day on so-and-so street. There will be a full investigation into this matter. The officers that were involved are now on paid leave. And we will get to the bottom of this matter. May take a while. Again, your child is dead. You got to plan a funeral. You're going to have to attend the funeral. These people are still doing the investigation. And then what happens? How many times have you seen this? They were cleared by a grand jury. Your child is still dead. Now let's go all the way back to what started the incident to where your child got killed and where I've seen so many. You can't tell me what to do. You don't have any right to do this. You don't have any right to do that. Excuse me. Let me tell you something. Stop right there. You don't need to watch no 90-minute video. You don't need to go to no classes. All you need to do is listen to what I'm about to tell you right here. A couple of things. First of all, take your personal feelings out of it. Second, your job is to survive that encounter. That's what you do. Thirdly, if you got a problem, go get you a lawyer. Go down, file your lawsuit, and take them to court. Because believe me, 9 times out of 10, or I'll back up 7 to 8 times out of 10, if there's an officer that's bad, this isn't the first time that he's done something. When you get a lawyer, there's a Freedom of Information Act. You can get all of those records. And you can bring all this stuff out in court. That's how you do it. Fighting and bucking against them, all it's going to do is get you hurt. If you don't get hurt, your name's going to go on a computer. You're going to have a record for the rest of your life. And one thing I know about people that aren't, shall I say, on the up and up, revenge is something else. All they're going to do is sit back and bide their time, and they're going to run into you again. You may be dead right. But see, a person that's wrong don't like to be right. He don't like nobody telling him right. He don't like to be exposed, and they're going to be looking for you. But again, your job, I'm talking to the person that may want to encounter a police officer, a bad police officer, your job is to survive that encounter. You do exactly as you're told. Sometimes that still may not be good enough. 8 times out of 10, if you comply, you'll survive that encounter. Because see, let me tell you something about people that don't mean you any good. Okay? People that think they're better than you. People that look down their nose at you. See, when they see you, again, they expect ignorance from the onset. That is their mindset about you. When they look at you, they expect ignorance. I used to have a guy that I used to work with. Every time this individual stopped a car, and it was another race, shall I say. It was, hey, Bubba, how you doing? Hey, Bubba, can I see your license? Hey, Bubba, can I see your insurance? But he stopped certain cars. Oh, hello, sir, ma'am, my name is so-and-so, so-and-so. The reason I stopped you because of this, blah, 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 blah. May I please see your license, insurance, and registration? What's the difference there? If I stop you from running a stop sign, or I stop you for speeding, it should be the same courtesy given. Why does he call this other person Bubba? See, that's his mindset. And that infuriated me so until I had to speak to him. Can you please, sir, explain to me? I've been watching something. You just stopped 5 individuals. 2 of them, it was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But the other 3, it was just Bubba this, Bubba that, Bubba this. But you didn't even know them people's name. Why were you calling them that? Why were you doing that? And I was bluntly told, don't you know that I'm the person that says whether you make it or not? And I said, yes. But right now, I really don't care whether I do or not. I want to know, why are you doing that? And I respectfully request for somebody else to train me. Well, I didn't make it. But if I, a fellow officer, is in the vehicle with another individual like this, and he's doing this in my presence, what is he going to do to you? Do you want your child to run into someone like that? They are there. I don't care whether a person is sitting with a badge likes this or not. It's the truth. But you see, you got that word camaraderie, especially in law enforcement. You dare not say anything. You don't say anything against another officer, whether he's right or whether he's wrong. You don't say a word. As a matter of fact, I bet you I missed getting hired on several occasions because of a question that I was asked, a character question. And the question is, you and your partner respond to a robbery at a jewelry store. During the course of your investigation at the jewelry store, you look and you see your partner pick up a watch and put it in his pocket. What do? Let me stop you. There's no right and wrong answer there. It's a character question. They're trying to see where your mindset is. I can remember each response I gave. I was asked that question on 3 different interviews. First, I said I would say something because I know I'd be doing the right thing. The second time, I said, well, if I did say something, I would say it to him or her, whoever my partner was. The third day, I said I wouldn't say anything. Didn't pass all 3 times. But somebody told me a secret to that. And here goes. First of all, if you'd have sat there and act like you didn't know what to do, you'd have passed. Again, a character question. But I've lived long enough to understand that now by dealing with people out there in the world. Now, let's educate our children to the ins and outs of how to deal specifically with law enforcement. It is too much of that going on now. Let me tell you something about these people. They're hired. They go through numerous background checks. They go to an academy where they are trained in firearm and physical, hand-to-hand combat, the law, the penal code, vehicle operation, daytime shooting, nighttime shooting, all these things that they go through. And then they come back out to after they graduate, they get to their respective departments, and it starts all over again. You just got your basic training, and then they have to go to the department that they're going, and they've got to start from the bottom and work their way up. A lot of them don't make it. But there's one thing that's truer than anything in the world. I know this from personal experience. It's one thing that I am going to do. It's a one model that they have that I know that I lived under also. My job is to come home to my wife and children at the end of the day. You hear that story? I would rather be tried by 12 than carried by six. That's a true statement. They believe that. And I don't blame them. Because there's some idiots out there. There's some people, really, they don't care anything about how they live. They don't care anything about themselves. And these people that put on these uniforms and go out there every day got to deal with those idiots. Yeah, I said the word idiots. Got to deal with them day in and day out. And I'll say, God bless them. And I'll tell them thank you. Because you can say whatever you want until it happens to you, until you need one. Let's educate our children. Let's let them know these people are not out there. All of them are not out there to persecute you. But there are some that are. Again, it's just the truth, okay? Life lessons, remember? Talk to your children. Let's stop this. Let's stop the children from dying needlessly, because that is what's happening. You can't explain it away. I don't care what kind of spin you put on it. What I just told you is the truth, and I hope I've helped you out some with that. Again, it is testimony time. As always, I use myself. I testify gladly, proudly, how good God has been to me. How good God continues to be good to me and bless me. Here's my story. 1985, Los Angeles, California. Yeah, yes, I was out in California for 9 years. Did a lot of things out there. There's a saying about California. It said if God made a place more beautiful, he kept it to himself. It is a beautiful place. Always something to see, always something to do, anything you want to see. And believe me, when I tell you anything you want to do, you can do it out there. It's just an open book. I mean anything. Well, again, I was a younger man running the streets out there, so to speak, doing my dirt. And I met some friends when I was out there. There's one that I used to hang around with a lot, one that took me under his wing and taught me the ropes, so to speak, when I first got there. One of the first things, let me tell you a little bit about this man. I went over to, I'll just say his place of business to take care of some business one night, and I pulled up in the parking lot, and when I pulled up, I saw him standing in the doorway, apartment, looking across. Well, when I got out, I looked back and I saw two fellows standing against an apartment wall. They were standing there. And I heard him say, hey, I've asked you guys not to hang around over here. One guy said something smart. He reached inside the door, got a shotgun, pow, pow, shot twice. And get this. He hit one of them and told the other one, pick your cousin up, get him away from here, and don't let me catch you back over here no more. And he said, tell your other friend, everyone will come over here, that's fine, let them come on. Well, I'm easing back in the car, and he called me, hey man, come here. You know, my eyes this big. So I walk up there, and the first thing he told me, or actually he said, you didn't see nothing, right? No, I ain't seen nothing. He said, let's come on in and take care of our business because we got to get away from fixing to get hot. That was the guy. I knew. I can't call his name, but that was one of the guys that I hung around with for a bunch of years out there. But my story is one night, I was coming home. Coming down the street, listening to the music. Oh, I had a car with loud speakers and everything like everybody else. And as I was coming up to my residence, there was a store right across the street there. There was a bunch of phone booths. And I saw my friend and a couple more friends over there at the phone booth. I blew the horn. I pulled up in my driveway. And when I went to get out of the car, he called me, hey. So I closed the door, backed out, went to pull up. on the sidewalk. Well, not on the sidewalk, but next to the curb. And we got out and we were talking. And we talked all for about an hour or so. After we talked, got back in the car, backed up, pulled up in the driveway, got out of the car, went in the house. Went in, went to bed. The next morning, I was awakened by somebody knocking on the door. I stayed behind. It was an old store that my wife's stepfather owned. It was a store and a residence in the back. We stayed in the back in the residence. And we're not used to anybody, coming back there. So we were knocking on the door. So I got up, got my gun, peeked out the window, and I saw this gentleman standing out there. Well, there's a Muslim temple right next door to where there's a fence that divides that property from the Muslim temple. And it was one of them. So I opened the door, and he had the strangest look on his face. He said, I need to show you something. I stepped right to the side of the house, and there was a big hole cut in the fence that separated our properties. He said, let me show you something else. Walked to the back, and where we lived, there was one of the big drainage ditches back there. And you could walk, it's about, a half a mile to where you could come down the sidewalk and walk down that drainage ditch. And back behind people's houses, there's a fence there. There was a hole cut in that fence. And I looked, and you get that feeling. I don't have any hair now, but if it was, the hair be standing up on the back of your neck. And this is what that man told me. And I knew he was telling the truth because he told me exactly what I did. He said, last night you pulled up in your yard. Somebody said something to you. You got back in your car, you backed out, and you left. He said, well, I was already outside when I saw these three guys come from behind your house, and they stood right there by the side of the house. All three of them had shotguns. And they were about to come around. You were about to get out of the car when somebody called and you got back in the car. They stopped. And at that very minute that they stopped, one of the other brothers come out the door, startled them. And as they put the guns on us, they cut a hole in the fence. They tied us up, drug us back inside the temple. They ransacked our temple. They came out and they left. I was saying, wow, my God. So immediately I went and I told my friend about it. The strangest look came over his face. He said, what? I told him again. And it's like he was just standing off in his space. He said, hey, I'll be back in a minute. He left. I didn't see him for 2 days. Of course, we were in the process. We moved. We moved that very day. But I didn't see my friend for a couple of days. And when I did see him, he walked up to me and he told me, he said, that matter, that thing you told me about, he put his hand on my shoulder like he said, I took care of that. I said, what did you mean? He said, I don't want to talk too much about it. He said, but the people that try to do that to you, I took care of that. I didn't know what to say. I said, he said, well, let me tell you. He said, there's some people that are very envious of you because you hung around me. They didn't like you. And they had planned this. And he said, somebody came to me. Somebody had told me about this earlier, but I didn't pay no attention until you came and told me about it. Now, I'm going to say this before I close here. Be careful with whom you hang around, and more importantly, with whom you talk to. You never know who's listening. You never know who really means you any good. Be careful. Very careful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I am here today because once again, God protected me. Even though I was out there doing all this wrong, God had a plan for me and he protected me. I keep asking myself, why? Why didn't they just cut the hole in the fence and kick the door open and go inside? Why did they do it that way? Well, God works in mysterious ways. And again, God will confuse your enemies. He'll make it where they can't see. He'll make it where they make bad decisions when it comes to some of his chosen people. Remember how he protected the Israelites, his chosen people. And I'll be bold enough to say, it's been revealed to me now. He chose me for a reason. That's why he protected me and kept me here. And today, I am able to testify once again to the mercy and the graciousness of our Lord. It's not luck. It's not happenstance. It's nothing but God protecting me. Look over your life. Has he protected you? Really look over your life and give God the praise. In closing, we're getting better all the time. We're getting better all the time. We aren't what we ought to be, but we're better than we used to be. You know why? Because we have a made up mind. Thank you, and God bless you.